So this is where we left her last time. We'd cleaned the majority of that dress and we'd started to work up onto her chest area and reveal those flesh tones. So today I'm back with my same solution as last time, and we're going to start to clean the rest of the face. Again, really excited to start work on this portrait. Had some fabulous comments last week. I think someone said they were going to cancel their cruise and buy a portrait instead to enjoy, which made me laugh. A friend of the show and client of mine has been in touch with some information about the portrait, which has been really helpful. They think the fact that this young woman is bareheaded suggests that she was very likely unmarried. She's also not wearing a sort of draped silk scarf around her shoulder and tucked into the bodice, which is called a fichu or fichu, usually worn by married women over their neck and chest. So this covered the chest area. The fact that her chest and neckline is bare could indicate that this is a portrait of an unmarried woman. And I did have this in a few comments as well, that they thought this could be like a marriage portrait. Sometimes a piece of material could be inserted, as in the case of a piece of Brussels lace, as a kind of limp bow. So this would indicate an engaged woman who is about to be married. So this, coupled with the fact that her hair is uncovered and a lack of any jewellery, except for the 2 diamond clips on her sleeves, which I'll talk about later, would indicate this is an unmarried woman posing for a potential marriage or engagement portrait. So this could well be an engagement portrait. Also, very likely this portrait was painted around 1750s, 1740s, a potential period that is backed up by the construction of the dress itself, which I'll come on to in a second. So you can see now in the face area that I'm getting through that varnish, and that yellowed, discoloured layer is removing. I've got some lovely colours coming through from her cheeks, and that forehead matches the flesh tone of her collar, shoulder collarbone area. So I'm just going to keep checking my swab. You know how this goes. Checking my solution, making sure that what I'm removing is just the varnish. So I'm softening areas up first and then removing that with my swab. It is very delicately painted, and this is something that Alan Ramsey did. He had 2 painting style periods, and one of them was a very polished flat surface, which he's known for. So you can see on her forehead and her cheek area, it's very, very flat. There's no brush strokes. But one area that does concern me is underneath her chin, where it kind of looks quite dark, and it's the paint surface is patchy there. So I think this will have been cleaned in the past. There is damage to that section that may well have been overpainted. So I'm just going to tread carefully in that area, and hopefully it won't be there won't be too much of the paint that has been lost. I touched on last week at how pleasurable this cleaning is, and it truly is. It's just such a privilege to be able to have a painting of this quality in the studio. I know she's a little bit rough and it's led a bit of a life, but the fundamental quality is there. So to be able to remove the varnish, reveal those colours, it is really pleasurable and enjoyable. It does come with its stresses though, because you have to make sure that you're not cleaning too hard or cleaning too aggressively, and just removing the varnish layer. So I do kind of make things last. I wanted to make the cleaning of this face last as long as possible, because once it's cleaned and the magic is done. So to reveal those eyes and the sparkle and the highlight on her nose, it's just a really nice feeling and a nice process to be able to be part of. This section here though, it does concern me. I can see the weave of the canvas there. There's hardly any paint on there and it's quite dark. Similarly, lightly touches around her eyes as well, so where the paint isn't as thick, but then on her cheek area you can see how thick that paint is in comparison. So I'm a little bit wary of that section. It does look like there could well be paint missing from there or has been taken off at some point. But then when you pull back, it is balanced. So I don't know if that's just a way of making that face recede into shadow. But I'll just be very careful around that section and tread carefully. But look at the shine in those eyes, that sparkle and that highlight on her nose and then up the bridge of her nose. It's just fantastic. I think that is a little bit of a trademark of Alan Ramsey, that highlight and that very smooth modelled look. But yeah, just wonderful, looking really nice now. Really enjoyed cleaning that face and revealing the sitter, or as much of the sitter as we can. So at this point now, I'm just removing any residue. I'm using the flat side of my swab to remove as much varnish as possible, and I'll just go over the whole face and take off all the softened varnish layer. So, Alan Ramsey, one of Scotland and Britain's leading portrait painters, court painter, painter in ordinary or printable to the king, darling of the court, painter of many prominent people. This double portrait of Sir Edward and Lady Turner is their marriage portrait. Very similar dress. They're holding the Belgian lace there together to signify that they're now married. She's got the headwear on. I just think there's a lot of similarities in style in terms of the costume that they're wearing that places our painting in the same period. So yeah, I've been looking into Alan Ramsey and his painting styles, and hopefully there'll be something on the back of that canvas or an inscription in the background that will be able to link us to Alan Ramsey. As soon as I see that dress on her shoulder though, the quality is there, and I would love to be able to make that connection. So with the face cleaned, I'm now looking to start in the background, and I know there's overpaint on there. You can see straight away on my swabs the difference in tone. So that's one from her face, the discoloured varnish, and this is from the background. So yes, there is a varnish layer on there, but it is also got pigment running through it. So when this painting was relined to remedy any damage or tears, you can see that hole in the top right corner of the canvas, that indentation, that's one of the damage points. It will have been retouched as well in the background, and this will have hid any cracks or crackler or rips or tears. So I know there's overpaint present. The UV light showed us this. So I'm just going to now, with the same mixture, work across the painting and see what reveals when I remove that background overpaint. And you can see it is thick. Okay, so the majority of that portrait is fantastic. You know, it's had a life, definitely had a life, and there is retouching on there. But the background, I feel, is just going to be a bit of a can of worms. I can see that it's bitumized, it's been over a fire, we know it's been relined, and as I'm doing my initial tests on the background, I can see that there is overpaint on there. There it is. So what I'm going to do is, see, that's good in a way though, because if there's overpaint on there, there's a chance that maybe there's something missing underneath there. 9 times out of 10 though, it's not. It's just a background colour. It's kind of there. It's like a monotone colour. There won't be anything exciting there. If I could find a signature, that would be fantastic. Some restorers might do a selective clean. So you might just clean the actual portrait and the sitter and leave the background. But over time, over hundreds of years, that background's getting darker and darker and darker. And the portrait kind of just sits out there and looks a little bit proud. She is beautiful though. She is absolutely beautiful. So even though it's going to be more work, it's going to be more time consuming, I'm going to work on that background now and see what I can remove and see what is actually the next layer underneath there. So I'm going to weaken my solution here and then carry on with the background clean. I'm just looking at her and she's gorgeous. So finely painted. I was looking into Alan Ramsey, and when he went over to Italy and he studied, he came back with a really polished effect. So there's hardly any brush strokes, and it's almost like a mirror kind of quality to it. So again, another thing for me that kind of points in the right direction that this is by Alan Ramsey. All these little things start stacking up. So right, on with the background. This angle just shows the sheen of the varnish that is kind of softened and yet to be removed. So you can see that background where it's kind of still shiny. Her face and body is matte now, and then that left-hand section is still to be tackled. So sometimes in a raking light you can see what still needs to be removed and the areas that do need your attention. So I'll be now tackling that background area and hopefully revealing some nice fresh paint or a signature. Hopefully you can see that, but I can start to see the outline of her hair now, which is amazing. So I've got the top part of her hair there coming up. I can see the tonal difference. And there's another little section on the top, and it comes down the outside of her hair, the head rather, around her ear, and it's like up, and just when that came through there was fantastic. So back to my reference book, and these are all period portraits as well. So you can see the hair's pulled back off the forehead. There is a bun at the top, but then the hair is cascading down the back as well. She's obviously married. She's got some jewellery on, and she's a bit more covered. Same with this one. She's got jewellery on, but that hairstyle, I think, is the same as our sitter. A bit of a bun at the top, and then this kind of, not flowing, but loose hair on the back of her head again, but quite softly painted. I know this is a reproduction, but you can see the softness of the light in there, much the same as our sitter, where it blends into the background. So I'm just going to continue now on that background area and hopefully make the definition between background and hair a little bit more apparent. These little sections are past damages that were underneath that overpaint. So these are historical repairs, historical retouchings that are showing. You can see some more bits of damage there. Some people might not want to see those, but I do, because that lets me know that's the original painting. That's the original painting without any restoration work on top. So I don't mind seeing them. Look at those curls, amazing. I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you to my Patreons, all my new Patreons. I've had quite a few sign-ups this week, which has been fabulous. Without you and your support, these videos wouldn't be getting made, so thank you. If you haven't signed up to Patreon yet, there's loads of exclusive content over there, paintings you won't see on YouTube, tutorial videos, and behind-the-scene vlogs as well, which are exclusive to Patreon. So head over there if you haven't already. I've got a giveaway coming up soon when I reach 200, which I'm not too far off now. So hopefully before Christmas, it'd be nice if we can get to 200 patrons. But I did say last week that I had a surprise for you. And some of you maybe guessed it or might have an idea what it is, but let me just show you this. Told you I had a surprise for you. Some of you guessed it, but yes, we have another fabulous partner portrait to our already fabulous lost masterpiece. So these are a pair, obviously. I'm presuming this is the husband. It's fabulous, another fabulous painting. Can't wait to get started on the clean on this. Some nice details on him. We've got this fabulous lace again. Might be reference to the marriage. His waistcoat looks great, but just, I don't know if you can see that properly. I'll do it properly, but his hair, this wig, and the eyes, and he looks in a little bit better condition around the chin area than Our Lady. But yeah, great portrait. So I will be starting on him next episode, as well as continuing with our other fabulous portrait as well. So I just thought I'd share that with you and just let you know that there is more to come. A great painting, and I'm sure this will brighten up and clean just as good as the other. So here she is after today's face clean and partial background clean. I'm just applying a neutralizing agent now just to stop any further chemical reactions while I stop working on her. But this allows me to see where we're up to with her. And she is just shining. She's just singing out. That dress is, again, just fabulously painted. And it's really hard to show you, but I'm trying to show you the hair now. As you can see, the glare is a little bit difficult because there's still some areas of varnish on there. But it is rising up from her forehead with that bun on the top, and then I can see where it's gathered around at the back. it may be a while before I can actually show you that properly, but you can see the outline of it there. So that was my big find for today. I'm really happy with that. There's another bit of a highlight there that defines the shape of her hair. So hopefully there will be more discoveries next time. So unfortunately, that's all we've got time for this week. I hope you enjoyed the video. Yeah, as just mentioned, I loved finding that outline of that hair. I was worried she was just going to have no hair or just a bun or something, but to see that come through today has just filled me full of confidence with her. So yeah, really, really pleased. Next time we will be doing more cleaning on the background. We will be looking at some structural work because she needs some structural work doing, and we will also start testing the gentleman or partner portrait as well, which again I think is just going to be so fabulous when it cleans. It's just going to really sink through. Thank you again to all my patrons. Thanks for watching, all my new subscribers. Let's see if we can get up to 20,000. So if you've not hit like and subscribe, it's down there. I don't care asking for it. I want to get to 100,000 before Christmas would be nice. So yeah, we need this video to go viral. Weather report is grey, you've guessed it. It's actually November the 1st now, and we are getting well on the way to winter. But heating's on, it's nice and warm in the studio, so all is good. Hope you all have a nice weekend, and I will see you next time. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Take care. Cheers. Bye.